Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. This week we're breaking down the Lions and Titans game this weekend.
Sounds good.
We've got our usual preview article to get us started,
All right.
but then we've got this other document
Okay.
that looks like it could be a plan for a whole podcast episode.
Ooh, interesting. A podcast episode about the same game.
Yeah, it's kind of meta, right?
Very meta. Let's start with the preview article, though, just to
Okay.
get the basics out of the way.
For sure, for sure. So the article tells us that the Detroit Lions are currently 5-1,
Okay.
which is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
They've got a 4-game winning streak going, and they've got home field advantage this weekend at Ford Field.
All right. Well, the Tennessee Titans are 1-5.
Oof, not their best season.
Not at all. You know, it's interesting, though. This is actually their first meeting in Detroit since 2016.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, and they've only played each other 7 times total since
Ugh.
the Titans moved to Tennessee back in 1997.
So not exactly a classic rivalry, huh?
Not really, no.
It's funny, right? It seems like every matchup these days needs to be hyped up as this big rivalry, even when the teams have barely played each other.
Yeah, you always hear about historical bad blood or renewing the rivalry, even if, it's not that deep.
Exactly. Like, how much of this rivalry stuff is real history and how much of it is just, like,
Right.
marketing? You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. It feels like every game needs a narrative, even if you have to stretch a bit to find one.
Exactly. Okay, well, back to the actual game at hand. Kickoff is 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday.
This Sunday.
This Sunday. You can watch it on FOX. Kevin Kugler and Daryl Johnston will be commentating.
Oh, nice. They're a good duo.
Yeah, or you can stream it on FUBO or the NFL Plus app if you prefer.
And for anyone who likes to dabble in sports betting,
Ooh, yeah.
Vegas has the Lions favored by a whopping 11.5 points.
Hmm.
Over-under is set at 45 points,
Hmm.
which tells you, how much confidence there is in Detroit right now.
Yeah. That's a pretty big spread. Okay, now let's talk about that other document we mentioned, the one that's formatted like a podcast episode plan.
Yeah, the one that caught our eye. It's actually titled Titans versus Lions.
Very straightforward.
Very much so.
So it's broken down into these specific segments, like a pregame podcast episode,
Yep.
and it's surprisingly detailed.
Yeah, it is. Like someone really did their homework, almost
Uh-huh.
like they took our deep dive concept and, well,
And deep dived into it.
exactly,
Yeah.
dived into it. So let's walk through these segments, shall we? See what we can glean from their approach.
Okay, let's do it. So first up is the introduction,
The hook?
the hook. They suggest starting strong, grabbing the listener's attention right away, talking up the historical significance,
Right.
building anticipation. They even give an example of a teaser, why this matchup could be one for the record books.
A bit formulaic, maybe, but I get the idea. You got to hook them from the start, especially when the matchup itself might not have, that classic rivalry drama built in.
Right. Sometimes you got to create the sizzle, even if the steak is a little,
A little tough.
yeah, more well done than you'd prefer. Okay, next up, they have a section called History of the Rivalry.
Wow.
And here's the interesting part. There are no specific game details.
Oh.
It's more about the feeling, turning points in the rivalry, epic clashes, fan reactions over the years.
Interesting. So it's more about tapping into the emotional side of things rather than,
Oh.
just listing facts and figures.
Yeah, almost like they're trying to manufacture a history where there isn't much to work with, which again makes me wonder how much of what we see in sports media is about creating narratives rather than reflecting reality.
That's a good point. You're right. There's definitely an element of storytelling involved in all of this. Like you're trying to shape how fans perceive a matchup. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you can't completely fabricate a rivalry, can you?
Right, you need some kind of foundation to build on.
Exactly. There has to be some element of competition or tension, to make it believable.
Okay, let's move on to the next section. Key players to watch. And this is where they get really strategic.
Ooh, how so?
They don't actually list any specific players.
I don't.
Nope. Instead, they talk about focusing on like archetypes and playing styles. The key players on each team, their strengths, unique playing styles, and impact on the game.
Ooh, I see. That's smart.
Right.
Yeah, it's a way to tease those exciting matchups on the field without getting bogged down in specific names right away.
Yeah, like setting the stage for the drama to unfold. And to back it up, they suggest including some stats
Okay.
about recent performances, just to show, how those strengths and styles might actually play out in this specific game.
Nice. So you're still grounding the excitement in some hard data, but it's presented in a way that, makes the listener eager to see how it all plays out on the field.
Exactly. All right, what's next in their podcast blueprint?
Well, now it looks like we're getting into the X's and O's. They've got a section called Tactical Breakdown and Strategies. This is where they suggest diving deep into potential game plans for both teams.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Right. They even pose some questions for us to consider. Things like, will the Titans rely on an aggressive offense?
Interesting.
Or will they try to shut down the Lions with their defense? How will the Lions adapt to whatever the Titans throw at them?
Those are good questions. Of course, given that the Titans have been struggling this season,
Right.
that might be easier said than done.
Yeah, that's true. The Lions' offense has been on fire, while the Titans...
Yeah. Well, let's just say they haven't been as impressive, but that's what makes it interesting.
Right.
You just never know what might happen on game day.
That's the beauty of football. Any given Sunday.
Exactly.
So, to keep the energy up, they suggest a section called Fan and Analyst Predictions.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Always a good way to get people talking. Right. Bring in some quotes from, sports journalists, maybe some recent tweets from fans, just to capture the pregame buzz.
Exactly. Get everyone hyped up for the game. And this is where you highlight the stakes, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Playoff implications.
Yep.
Historical milestones. Players on the verge of breaking records, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Fuel for the fire. Wait a minute. Didn't we just talk about the history of the rivalry section?
I did.
And how they were kind of making up history.
Good point.
So now they want us to manufacture the stakes, too.
Well, I don't think it's about making things up. It's more about framing the game within a larger context.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Even if it's not a historic rivalry, there are always storylines to uncover, individual achievements to celebrate, potential consequences for both teams.
Yeah, I get it. You're giving the audience a reason to care.
Yeah.
A reason to get invested.
Exactly. All right, next on the podcast outline, fan and expert opinions.
Bring in the voices of the people.
Yes. They really emphasize the importance of showcasing different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Media quotes, fan insights,
Yeah.
social media chatter, all that good stuff.
You got to show that passion and excitement, even if,
Yeah.
it's not the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I love that they're emphasizing the fan perspective here. It's a good reminder that,
Sure.
sports are ultimately about entertainment and community.
Right.
Even when the competition on the field isn't, perfectly balanced.
Exactly. It's about that shared experience,
Yeah.
that collective anticipation.
Yeah. Okay, so we're almost through this document. The last section is closing thoughts and final predictions.
Okay.
Seems pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah.
but they do make a point of emphasizing a strong call to action.
Leave them wanting more. Summarize the key points.
Yeah.
Offer your own prediction as the host.
Mm-hmm.
And then, most importantly, encourage them to tune in for the game.
Make them feel like they can't miss it.
Exactly. It's like that final push to
Yeah.
convert those casual listeners into, diehard fans.
I'm telling you, this whole document is like a masterclass in pregame hype.
Seriously. What do you think? Should we revamp our whole show based on this blueprint?
I don't know about that, but it's clear that whoever put this together really understands how to build anticipation and engage an audience. They get it,
They do. Structure, narrative, connecting with the fans on an emotional level, it's all there.
It really is. The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to get a little suspicious.
Suspicious. How so?
Well, this document, it's just too perfect.
What do you mean?
It's tailored specifically to our show format, our style, our audience. It's almost like
someone is watching us,
Yeah.
analyzing our every move.
Yeah, sending us coded messages through obscure football documents.
Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but it does make you wonder, right? Is someone out there paying very close attention?
Right.
Maybe even trying to, influence our approach.
Whoa, conspiracy theories already. We're only halfway through the episode. But, it is strange how perfectly aligned this document is with our show, almost like it was, made just for us.
I know, right? It's almost flattering.
It is kind of flattering.
Or maybe a little creepy. I don't know.
Either way, it's definitely giving us something to think about.
Definitely. But, hey, before we get too lost down this meta rabbit hole,
Yeah, good point.
let's bring it back to the actual game.
Okay. Yes, because at the end of the day,
Right.
it's the Lions and the Titans who will be battling it out on the field, not us.
Exactly.
So, to recap, we've got the Lions,
5-1.
5-1, riding high on that 4-game winning streak, facing the,
The struggling Titans.
struggling Titans. Kickoff is 1 p.m. Eastern on FOX, HBO, or the NFL Plus app. And Vegas has the Lions as, pretty heavy favorites.
Yeah, 11.5 points.
But, as we all know,
Right.
anything can happen on game day.
And remember,
Yeah.
it's not just about the final score, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
It's about the individual matchups,
Yeah.
the coaching strategies, those unexpected moments that turn a game into a story.
Exactly. And speaking of stories, let's put ourselves in the shoes of that mysterious document creator for a second.
Okay.
If you were producing a pregame show for this matchup,
Right.
what specific stories or player rivalries
Yeah.
would you highlight to really get the fans fired up, you know?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me think. Well, I definitely want to dig into the Lions' recent success.
Yeah, that winning streak.
4 wins in a row. That's got to be some serious momentum. What's clicking for them?
Right. Is it the offense, the defense, or is it some kind of like coaching magic, you know?
Yeah. Uncovering those narratives, the ones that explain their success, that'd be key.
Give the fans some insight into why this Lions team feels different, why this season feels special.
Exactly. Maybe there's a new player who's really stepped up, or a coach who's finally, figured out how to unlock the team's potential.
Ooh, I like that. All right, what about the Titans?
Well, with the Titans, you've definitely got that underdog angle to play with.
For sure.
They're 1-5, but hey, any team could pull off an upset.
Right. True. True.
So maybe you focus on a player who's been exceeding expectations, some young guy who's, really trying to make a name for himself. Give those Titans fans someone to root for, even if the odds are stacked against them.
I like that, the against all odds story. It's a classic for a reason, you know? This whole exercise with this document,
Yeah.
it really highlights how much storytelling is involved in sports commentary. Like, it's not just about the stats and the scores, it's about finding those narratives that really connect with people on an emotional level, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It's about making the audience feel the excitement, the tension, all that drama. And honestly, this document, even though it's just an outline, it kind of nails that.
It does, yeah. They really understood how to build anticipation, highlighting those key players and matchups, incorporating those fan perspectives. It's like a recipe
Right.
for a successful pregame show.
Totally. And honestly, the more I think about it,
Yeah.
the more I think this document was meant for us. Specifically,
Wait, really? You still think that?
I do. It's just too perfectly tailored to our show, our format. Like someone is out there watching us, analyzing us.
Okay, now you're the one with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, it is a little freaky how well this thing aligns with our approach. Like, was it planted? Are we being manipulated? Is this like some kind of psychological experiment?
Well, hold on. Let's not get too carried away.
Okay.
But it definitely gives you pause.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it was intentional or not, this document has made us think more critically about how we approach this show,
That's true.
how we connect with the audience, how we create that excitement for each game.
Right.
It's kind of wild.
It is. You know what, though? Even if we are being watched,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it change how we do things. We're going to keep being us,
Right.
diving deep, exploring the nuances, and having fun. That's what we do.
Exactly. We're not going to let some, shadowy figure dictate our approach. We'll take their insights into consideration, but we're going to stay true to ourselves and our listeners.
Yeah.
That's what makes the deep dive special, right?
I think so. Okay, but just for fun, let's play along with this conspiracy theory for a minute.
Okay.
Let's say this was planted, right? This document
All right.
designed to, test us or influence us. What do you think they're hoping to achieve? What kind of reaction are they looking for?
That's a tough one. Maybe they're trying to see how receptive we are to new ideas.
Okay.
How adaptable we are. Or maybe they're looking for signs of, I don't know, insecurity, arrogance, or maybe even a willingness to compromise our principles, like for the sake of ratings or popularity. Who knows?
Ooh, that's a little scary. Like, they want to see if we'll, sell out just for a good story.
Well, I can tell you one thing. They're going to be disappointed. We're not going to be manipulated.
Good.
We're going to keep providing those insightful, entertaining analysis while always, being respectful of the game and the fans. I like it. Maybe this whole experience will make us even better. Maybe it'll push us to be more creative, more insightful, more engaging. Who knows?
Maybe. Okay, enough with the meta-analysis. Let's get back to the Lions and the Titans.
Yes, the actual game we're supposed to be previewing. Sorry, listener, for that little detour.
Yeah.
This whole document thing has been a trip.
It has. Okay, so high-flying Lions versus the underdog Titans. Kickoff is 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday
Right.
on FOX, FUBO, or the NFL Plus app. And as always, we encourage you to watch with, a critical eye,
Oh, yeah.
looking for those little moments, those strategic decisions that often go unnoticed,
Right.
but can really impact the game.
The little thing.
The little things. And hey, if you notice any weird subliminal messages or coded signals
Wait, what?
embedded in the broadcast, let us know. Just kidding. But seriously, we want you to be engaged, think critically,
Yes.
and appreciate the complexities of the game.
It's more than just the final score.
It is. And that brings us to the final section of that mysterious document.
Which is?
Closing thoughts and final predictions. Now, we're not in the business of making predictions,
Sure.
but we can offer some closing thoughts. So, what's your main takeaway from all this?
Well, aside from the potential mind games, of course, I
Mhm.
think the big takeaway is the importance of approaching any game, any matchup, with a sense of curiosity
Ooh, I like that.
and open-mindedness. Don't just look at the records. Look at the stories behind the teams, the players, the coaches. That's where you find the good stuff, the real excitement.
I love that. And for our listeners who are, prepping for those water cooler debates,
Right.
don't just spout stats. Share those stories. Who's got something to prove? What are the under-the-radar factors to watch for? That's how you win those pregame arguments.
Be the one who brings the insight, the nuance, the stuff that, most people miss.
Yes. All right. On that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
It really has. Analyzing the game, dissecting the document, uncovering a potential sports media conspiracy.
It's all in a day's work.
That's the deep dive for you. Exploring the unexpected, challenging assumptions, searching for those deeper layers of meaning. Love it.
So, listener, we say this. Go into this Lions versus Titans game with an open mind, a curious spirit,
Yes.
and maybe a healthy dose of skepticism. You never know what hidden narratives or subliminal messages you might uncover.
And most importantly, enjoy the game. Blowout or nail-biter, there's always something to appreciate, something to learn, something to talk about. See you next time on The Deep Dive. We'll be tackling another fascinating topic, uncovering hidden truths, sparking those thought-provoking conversations. We can't wait.
And who knows, maybe next time we'll have another mysterious document to decode.
Oh, man. I don't know if I could handle another one of those so soon.
I hear ya. My brain's still spinning.
Same here.
But, if it means we get to have another conversation like this one, I'm not complaining.
True. It's definitely been fun.
It has. Okay, before we wrap up completely, let's circle back to something we talked about earlier. Remember that key players to watch section?
Yeah. The one where they focused on those, archetypes.
Exactly. They were all about the playing styles, not the specific names. So now that we've had some time to think about it, can we apply that to this game, to the Lions and the Titans?
Yeah, I think we can.
Can we identify some players who fit those descriptions?
We can try. Let's start with the Lions. Since they've got that, explosive offense, I think we should be looking for a real playmaker.
Yeah, a game changer.
Exactly. Someone who can really take over the game with, their speed, agility, and just, pure talent.
Someone like, say, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ooh, yeah. He's a good one.
He's been incredible this season.
He has. Consistently making big plays, racking up yards, you name it.
Yeah, he's got that that elusiveness, that
Yeah.
ability to make defenders miss,
Yeah.
turn those short gains into, huge plays.
He's definitely a game changer.
For sure. Okay, what about the Titans? Now, they've got a tougher challenge ahead of them, being the underdogs and all,
Yeah.
but I'm sure they have some players who fit that heart and soul archetype. The guys who maybe don't have the flashiest stats, but they bring the grit, the determination.
That never say die attitude.
Exactly.
Let's see. How about someone like Jeffrey Simmons?
Oh, on the defensive line.
Yeah. He's a beast.
That he's a force.
Always battling in the trenches, disrupting plays, making life tough for opposing offenses.
Yeah, he might not always get the attention,
Yeah.
but he's crucial to that Titans defense.
Totally. He's a great example of that underdog spirit,
Yeah.
just never gives up.
And, I think that's what makes sports so interesting. Those individual battles, those displays of, heart and determination.
So it makes you really connect with the game.
It goes beyond the X's and O's.
It does. It's about those human elements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so to our listeners out there, as you're watching this Lions versus Titans matchup, keep an eye out for those players.
Okay.
Those moments of brilliance, those little displays of resilience.
Yeah.
Don't just watch the scoreboard, watch the game itself,
Look deeper.
Look deeper. Appreciate the individual performances.
Because that's what makes it so captivating.
And remember,
Yeah.
no matter who you're rooting for, enjoy the game.
Mm.
Soak in the atmosphere, appreciate the athleticism, let the drama unfold.
Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, folks, that about wraps up our deep dive into the Lions versus Titans matchup.
What a ride.
It's been quite the journey. We dissected the game preview, decoded that mysterious document,
Yeah.
maybe even uncovered a sports media conspiracy. Who knows?
I'm still not over that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a lot. But hey, that's what the deep dive is all about, right?
Yeah.
Exploring the unexpected, challenging those assumptions, and
Uh-huh.
searching for those deeper layers of meaning.
Love it.
We love it too. So until next time, keep those minds sharp, those eyes peeled,
Yes.
and those hearts open to the endless possibilities of the sports world.
We'll see you on the next deep dive, where we'll, tackle another fascinating topic, uncover some hidden truths, spark those thought-provoking conversations.
We can't wait.
Until then, stay curious, stay engaged,
And as
stay
always,
tuned.